Hello, hello. Hopefully everyone can see me and hear me. We'll get started soon. Thank you for joining us. We'll just get started in about a minute here and let everyone join the session. Thank you again for joining us. We are doing a session today on getting started with MailerLite. So this is our beginners webinar. So if you've just joined in the last month or a month or two, this is a good session just to get a good overview of the platform. And I'll go over a couple things. You should be able to see that we have a webinar chat and there's also a Q&A option. So for the chat, you won't be able to actually type into it. That is just for our panelists. We have a couple panelists joining us today and they will be answering all of your questions. So if you do have any questions, type in the Q&A section. That way they can easily see all your questions in that area and we'll answer those over there. And we will have a Q&A at the very end where we'll answer some questions live if we have time. But for the most part, if you have questions during, that goes in the Q&A. But keep an eye out on the webinar chat. We will be adding in knowledge base article links, anything like that to go along with things that we're talking about. So resources will be in the chat. And for anyone wondering, the session is being recorded. And if you registered, we will be sent the recording after. So no worries if you have to leave early or anything like that. Okay, looks like we're about a minute in, so we can go ahead and get started. I'll just say one last time. Webinar chat is just for links for resources. Any questions go in the Q&A while we are going through our session today. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. This is our session getting started with MailerLite. So if you just joined the last couple months or if you're just getting started, this is a good session to get an overview with everything. Quick introduction. My name is Harmony. I'm a customer education specialist here at MailerLite. I write the knowledge base articles and I also host these webinars. So just looking forward to giving you the overview and hoping that this helps to clear any doubts you might have. And then we also have Alex. He'll be hosting the second half of the presentation today. I'll be hosting the first half, and he is our MailerLite video producer. So if you've seen any of our tutorials, you might recognize him there. So he'll be hosting towards the last half. Okay, quick agenda. So things we'll be going over in this session. It is all beginner overviews. I won't be going in depth too much into anything. We'll be talking about subscribers first, so how to import subscribers, as well as methods to collect subscribers like forms and landing pages. Then we'll go into campaigns and we'll talk about sending and automating. So that's creating and sending a campaign using the drag and drop editor, and then building a simple automation. And then at the very end, we'll have any questions that were not answered live or that were not answered by panelists or that we want to answer live, we can answer during the Q&A, and we'll also share some resources at the very end as well. Okay, so just a quick overview of MailerLite's plan levels if you're not familiar. So there is a 14-day free trial when you first join, and that gives you access to a few of the premium features in the growing business and advanced plans. But we do have the free plan, which gives you a lot of things to get started. So you can still send campaigns using the campaign builder, automations. So everything that we are showing in this session, you can do on the free plan as far as sending campaigns, building automations, websites, landing pages. You are limited to 10, but that is a good way to get started. You have all the reporting features as well as sign-up forms and pop-ups as well. So you do have all of this on the free plan. And then growing a business is when you grow your subscriber list a bit more, you want to have access to things like templates, auto resend campaigns, more ways to test things, so like A/B testing, auto resend, things like that. More options for websites and landing pages. You can customize things like the unsubscribe page, and again, more testing. Also custom domains. So if you have your own domain for your website and you want to use that domain for landing pages on MailerLite, you have to connect a custom domain. We'll talk a bit about that later. And that is on the growing business plan. And then we have the advanced plan, and that is where you have like the AI features, artificial intelligence features, more editors to create emails, so the HTML editor, more automation options. So we'll talk more about automations, of course, later, but we do have more advanced automations in this plan. Unlimited account users as well in this plan. So if you have a team of people and you want to invite lots of different people to join the plan, this would be a good one to go for. And then unlimited monthly emails. So if you do have a larger list and you are sending a lot, the advanced plan is what you would most likely want to be on. Okay, so let's jump into our overview. So first, I'll be going over these things here. We were talking about subscribers, so where they are managed and also how to import. Forms and landing pages, so how to build your list using these. Then we'll go into campaigns and automations. And this is where Alex will jump in and talk about campaigns, email creation and sending using the drag and drop editor, as well as setting up a workflow. So first, we'll talk about building your email list, why it matters. Good deliverability is always important. We won't talk about authenticating domains today, but that is something that you will do when you start using MailerLite and sending campaigns. We won't talk about it in this session because it is different depending on which provider you are using, but we do have an automatic process for that. I won't go too much into it, but deliverability is important. And we talk about that when it comes to consent and building your list. So with MailerLite, you are not allowed to purchase the list and import that or take emails off of websites, email scraping, things like that. If you are importing a list to MailerLite, it has to be contacts that have given their consent to be emailed by you. They know that they're being added to a list. They know what they're receiving as well. So they know the kind of content that they are getting. And that's all very important. That helps you avoid spam filters. It helps you avoid unsubscribes because if people are expecting your content, they're more likely to open and engage with it. Okay, I'm going to go over into the MailerLite platform now, and I'm going to show you how to import subscribers, create a sign-up form, and then just the basics of landing pages. Feel free to follow along if you want to open your account, but I will just be going over these things in a demo, so nothing too in-depth. Just give me one moment here. Okay, you should be able to see the dashboard now. Yes, of MailerLite. So let's go into the first area here. So we'll talk about all of these different sections. First, we're going to import subscribers because when you are first getting started, when you are creating your account, setting up your account, you're most likely going to be doing this first. So let's add subscribers. This is where all the subscribers will be. Of course, if you don't have any imported yet, none will be here, but this is where every active subscriber is shown. Active meaning they haven't unsubscribed, they haven't had a spam complaint, nothing like that. They're active and can be emailed. That is all here. I will talk about groups and segments as well, but let's go here, add subscribers. And there are different ways to add subscribers to your account. You can import from a CSV or a TXT file. You can copy and paste directly from Excel here. If you just have one single subscriber and you want to add them quickly, you can just type in their email, name, and then more fields if you would like, all of that. We do have an easy import from MailChimp. So if you are coming over and you are migrating from MailChimp to MailerLite, this is an easy way to migrate your subscribers over. You simply click this button, log into MailChimp, and then it will bring all of the subscribers over from MailChimp. And then for our developers, you can also import using API. Our documentation is linked right there on the site. For this demo, I will be importing using a CSV file. I think that's one of the most common ways. So you can drag and drop or select. I will just drag a CSV file I have here and click import. Okay, that was quick. So first we have the option to add these subscribers to a group. So what this means is they'll be added to that large list I showed with everyone. But if we want to separate them into smaller lists, we can do that by adding them to a group. So we can choose a group that's already there, or we can create a new one just simply by typing in and then adding a new group. For this, I'll just choose a group that we have already. Now we're going to match the fields. So this means that in the file that I had, of course, I had all the emails listed, but I also had other information like name. I had a couple of things. This is from a webinar, so I had the time they registered, different information. So it's asking what I want to bring over and where I want that information to go. First name, it's easy. We can just put that in the name field, different ones to choose from. Name. Last name goes into last name. And this is also what was in the file itself. So the file had these headings. So that's how I know that these are the first names and last names. Email is picked up automatically, so I don't have to choose email. Then there might be some columns with information that I don't need or don't want. So if, for example, if I don't really want this, then I could just choose to skip. Same thing with this, skip. If I want this one, maybe I can do that. And then skip, skip. If we have any automations, again, we'll go into automations later, but if we have any automations we want to start, so if these subscribers can start the automation, we can choose that option there. For example, if that group starts an automation, that would be what we would use this for. For now, I will just finish the import. And good, that just took a few seconds. So with this, it looks like they were all added successfully. There was no duplicate subscribers, for example, or subscribers that had previously unsubscribed. If there were things like that, they would show up in subscribers not added. So if there are, and for any reason they're not added to the account, they'll show up here and it'll show why. Updated means they were already in the account, but now they have new information. Okay, and that is it for importing. Let's talk more about groups because you saw when I imported those subscribers, they went into a certain group. So here we have both segments and groups. I will talk about both. Both are ways to create smaller lists of subscribers. That way you can target these subscribers with specific campaigns. You might not want to send every campaign to everyone on your list. You might want to separate them based on different things. It could be whatever, it could be where they signed up from, what product they're interested in, anything like that. So I will talk about the difference. And these are the different groups that are already in our account. I can create a new one if I want. And then we also have segments here. Now, the main difference between segments and groups of subscribers is that with groups, they are added manually, as in subscribers are added to groups manually. Different ways. It could be via an import like we just did, where I added subscribers to the group, I chose the group, and they will be in that group now. It could be with a form. We will show in a minute how you choose a group for a form. So that would put them in that group specifically. So this means that you can remove subscribers from a group, add them to a group. Let me show that now. So if you go into the group here and I choose a few subscribers, you can see I have the option to remove them from this group. I can also add them to a separate group. So this is something that you cannot do with segments. So let me go over to segments now. Segments are created with a specific rule. And if those subscribers fit that rule, they go into the segment. So let me just create a new one. So now it's asking to set up the conditions, the rules. So what do I want this list to be? These are all of my subscribers, but I want to create a certain condition. So first, let's say I will go with, we have lots of options here. Let's go with uh, campaigns. I will say was sent. I could say any campaign. I could choose a specific one. For now, I will say any campaign. So now I've created a list, you see that number went down, of subscribers that were sent any campaign at any time. I did not have to create this list myself, like manually bring 87 subscribers in. I just created the condition, and those that met it went into the list automatically. So let me save. That will save that segment. So this also means that when a subscriber no longer fits that rule, or they didn't fit the rule before and they do now, they will be added to the segment. So only subscribers that fit the condition go into the segment. That means if more subscribers in a week or two are sent campaigns, suddenly they now fit into this segment, they will be added to it. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to add them myself. They will fit the rule. They will go into the segment. It's not really possible for you to unsend campaigns to subscribers in that way, but if they were to be in this segment and then let's say not meet that rule after a certain amount of time, they'll be removed automatically. You don't have to check that it's happening. It's if they could meet the conditions or not. Okay, that is it for segments and groups. And then once again, all subscribers are shown here. And segments and groups are here. Let me go over now into forms. Because once you add subscribers and you have segmented them and you have that part of the account set up, the next part could be adding a form to your website, creating a form, collecting more subscribers. And this is one of the ways to collect subscribers. There are 3 different options for forms: pop-ups, embedded, and promotional. Promotional are on our paid plans. Embedded forms, it's kind of how it sounds. They are embedded into one area of your page, of your site page. So let's say you have a blog and you want the form on the sidebar, it would be embedded there. So it does not move, it does not show up at a certain time. It's always there when someone sees that page. Pop-ups, of course, are different in the sense that they have a certain timer or a certain setting. These are what I'll be showing. And they do show up as a pop-up on the page, and they can be, of course, removed so that you can continue to browse the site. This is what I will be showing today. So we have some created already. Let's create a new one by clicking Create Form. And then pop-up is already chosen here as the type. Save and continue. And then you see here, I have to select a group. So these are groups that have already been created. I can create a new one if I want. What this means is it's asking me to choose which group the subscribers will go into if they sign up using this form. I can choose multiple. So if I want them to go into several groups at the same time, I can do that. Or I can just choose one. You have to choose at least one. Every form needs to have its own group. We have lots of templates to choose from. We have, for example, the spin the wheel template, which is like a gamified version of a sign up form. So they have to spin the wheel, possibly win something, and then enter their email to win, to get the code or whatever the prize is. We have countdown pop-ups, lots of different options to choose from. You can customize all of this. For now, I will just go with the basic design so you can see what it looks like to start from scratch. This is our pop-up editor. So this is what the form will look like, and you can change lots of different things. You can change the layout here, how it looks. Of course, you can change the colors, you can add your brand colors, the style, background, you can add images, anything like that. If you want to add an image, It's as easy as adding something from your file manager. This is where all of your images are stored. You can also upload new images. Anything can be customized. And then let's talk about the actual sign up form here. So of course, this is where people will enter their email addresses. But if you want to collect other information besides the email, you saw how I just clicked here. That brought up the settings and then add field. And I can choose all of the different fields I have. So let's say I also want to ask their name and maybe their birthday. So that is how you would add other input fields here. You can also add things like a privacy policy, extra marketing permissions, a few different options to customize there. We also have different elements that you can drag and drop into the editor. So if you want to add more things, let's say another button somewhere, you can do that. We have lots of different options for adding blocks. And then, of course, this is the overall style of the pop-up itself. So the background colors, this is where you would add in your brand colors if you have them set already. And then the success form, this is what they will see. So you see here there was pop-up and success. Success is what they will see if they have submitted all the information and clicked the subscribe button. Then they will see the success form. So that means that they have subscribed and they've been added to your list. You can add whatever you like here. If you have a certain resource that you are trying to share with this pop-up, this is where you could choose to add it. You could send an email afterwards, after they sign up. I'll show how that's done. But that is how you would more or less use our editor for pop-ups. And then you're also able to preview how it will look on both desktop and mobile. When you're done, click Done Editing. Okay. And this is where you would set the behavior. So this is what makes a pop-up different from an embedded form, because we are setting the options for when it will actually show on the site. So we might want it to wait a certain amount of seconds before showing up. Maybe when the person viewing the site scrolls to a certain amount, that's also an option. We can choose how often to show the pop-up to the same person. The schedule is when it will show. So none means it will just activate right away, or a specific time. So let's say you have a promotion running from a certain date, and then you can set here exactly when the pop-up will show and not show. And then the visibility. So most likely you wouldn't want the pop-up on every page of your website. So this is where you would add the URLs to hide on specific pages or show on specific pages or on specific devices. This is another thing that I will not be able to get too much into. Is of course is adding the actual form to your website. And the reason is it's because the process will be different depending on how your website accepts JavaScript. So let's say you're using Wix, for example, that is a completely different process than Squarespace. They'll have different ways of adding JavaScript. So depending on how you have that set up in your website builder, you can easily add this by simply copying the JavaScript code, going over once this is after it's created, going over to wherever your website is created, and then however you add JavaScript to your site, this is where you would add this code. Okay, and that's it. Continue. And that is it for creating a form. And then you can see I can still edit at any time. This is whether it is active or not. Double opt-in, that is over here. Double opt-in is a way to verify that those who are submitting your form are actual real subscribers. So it's not like a spam account or anything like that. So what that means is after they submit their email, their name, whatever they submit, they will receive an email to the address that they put into the form. At that point, they're not technically subscribers yet. If they have just received the confirmation email, you see it says, please confirm that this is the correct email address. If they do not click that at all, if that email just sits in the inbox, does not get clicked, or if they decide that they actually don't want to sign up for whatever reason, they will be unconfirmed, which is right here. So if you ever see unconfirmed, that's what it means. The subscriber they signed up, they were sent a confirmation email, but they did not click the verification link, so they are unconfirmed. And it is not, I guess I'll use the word ethical. It's like by GDPR standards to send these subscribers emails because they have not technically become subscribers yet. They will become active subscribers once they click that button to confirm their email address. This one. You can customize this as well. Doesn't have to look like this or say this, but this is what it looks like. The thank you page is after they have done that. But this is optional, so you do not need to have double opt-in. You can turn it off. But we do recommend it. It is just for security reasons. There are spam accounts that will like attack forms and create subscribers that don't exist that will end up hurting your overall stats. So all in all, it is, and it's something that a lot of companies do. So people do tend to expect this, especially if you say that, you're being sent a confirmation email, make sure to click it. So this is something that we do recommend to have on, but it is optional. And the last thing I will show, I'll go over to sites. And in sites, we have two areas. So we have both landing pages and websites. I will just be showing landing pages. The builders are slightly different, but I won't go too much into sites. It is a similar process. Let's start with create site. And basically the difference, here you see we choose the type, between a landing page and a website. A website is a collection of pages, whereas a landing page is a single web page. A landing page isn't meant to be your entire branded website, the main website that you use for everything. You most likely, if you have your own business, you most likely have that already. A landing page is just a single page that is used for a specific goal, whatever that might be. It might be to sell a certain product or share a resource, whatever it is, it's for that goal. It is not connected to your site, if that makes sense, hopefully. We do have guides on this. So hopefully you are able to, we will add those guides into the chat later, and then we will also send out a lot of guides at the end, so you'll be able to see the guides we have on all of this. Okay, and once again, you see here I'm choosing a group. Groups are everywhere in MailerLite. Again, this is if I have a sign up form and they submit that form, they will be added to that group. Continue. Again, lots of different templates here. We have a whole gallery of templates, but I will just go with the basic builder. And this is our landing page builder. So this is the start from scratch, no templates option. We can add in elements similar to how the drag and drop builder looked before with the pop-up editor. And we can add in anything we like, images, buttons. If we are selling products, this is actually a fairly new feature. If you are selling digital products, you can add all the information and connect a store here. Or if you are using like Shopify, or WooCommerce. You can also connect your store this way. This is elements. You can add entire sections. And if you customize a block a certain way and you want to save that block, you can do that. And that means you're able to reuse that area, that section. Right here. Styling, similar to the other builder. This is where you would add brand colors if you have them. And then other settings as far as if you want a navigation, social links, everything like that. If I want to have this landing page also collect subscribers, I have to add a sign up form, which is down here. So that is in elements and sign up form. It is not there by default. And this works the same way as the pop-up builder. I click into it and then I can add more fields. I can customize, the button, anything like that. And if I do add a sign-up form, I'm able to customize the success page, just like in the pop-up form. And I can also both view and edit in mobile and landings. This is desktop, I mean. This is also fairly new. This is what, of course, the page will look like on desktop. It looks, kind of plain right now. But if I go over to mobile, I can also edit this separately. So if I want the mobile version to look a little different than the desktop version, I would just go over switch editors, and I'm able to customize a few different things here that will be independent from how it looks on desktop. And you can also hide certain elements. So if certain things don't look very good on here, on the mobile version, or you don't want them shown, you can easily do that, remove it altogether, remove the order. So you can actually reorder blocks here, even though, and that will be only on mobile itself. And that is it. Done editing. Okay, this is where the landing page has its URL. So if you are on a free plan and you have not added a custom domain, this is what the URL will look like. This is the default domain of MailerLite, and then you can edit this part. But this is kind of the limitation with a free plan. If you want your own domain here, you can do that, but that would mean having a paid plan and then going through the process of adding a domain, which is not complicated. But then you are able to, you can see, change and add different domains. But if you're on a free plan or have not added a custom domain, this is what it will look like with a little bit of customization here. A few different settings, SEO settings here. And save. I will publish the page just so you can see that once I do that, I have my link right here. And if I go over to a new page, that is the very dull landing page I just created. And I can also edit at any time, change the group, all of that. Okay, let me go ahead and just switch back over here. That was the first half of the session. Just give me one moment. Let me go back to our presentation and we will continue with the second half. Okay. So we just went over all of this: importing subscribers, creating a sign-up form, and the basics of a landing page. Next, we're going to go into creating and sending your first campaign. Alex will show the demo. what that will look like is he will show that we have templates, but we will start from scratch, like I've done with the other options. So you can see kind of just the basic editor, our drag and drop editor, how you add content to a campaign, text, images, buttons, all of that. Personalization, so adding a subscriber's name, for example, into a newsletter, how you would do that, what that would look like, how to preview and test your email before sending it, as well as what it looks like to send it right away versus scheduling it in the future. Then automating. So this is where we'll talk about workflows. Oh yeah, well, why it matters in general. Workflows are automatic sequences of emails, so it saves time and it keeps subscribers engaged. This way, you don't have to keep up with constantly sending one-off emails manually. In the live demo, we'll show a basic welcome automation, and then we'll talk about triggers, so how to start the automation, adding a second follow-up email, and then talk about the different settings there. And I think that is, yeah. So I will go ahead and hand over to Alex to show all of that. And I think you can
Yep,
share, but
thank you
let
very
me,
much. Let me see here if I can get my screen to share.
there you go. I will jump in to answer questions.
All right, can everyone see my screen? You should be seeing the MailerLite dashboard right now.
Yes.
Wonderful. Alrighty, so after you have learned how to import your subscribers, create forms and landing pages, the next thing you're going to want to do is interact with those subscribers that you've been collecting. And the first thing that we're going to go over is how to create campaigns. What we're going to show here are essentially one-off emails that you would be sending to your subscribers. And there are a couple of ways that you can do this. From here on the dashboard, we have the create button. We'll get to that here in just a moment. But if you want to create a campaign, we've also got a campaign tab right over here on the left sidebar. You can see this little like email envelope icon. That is how you create emails. One way to think about campaigns for now is that they're kind of like synonymous with an email. So when you get an email to your inbox, that is a campaign that someone has sent to you or that you have sent over to your subscribers. To get started, let's go ahead and click on the create button. And then you can see here we have different options like create campaign, create a form, site, or automation. See here, we are going to go ahead and click create campaign. And then Harmony, I do see a comment that someone is not able to see the share screen. Before I go forward, I just want to make sure that everyone is able to see what what we're
I can
showing here.
I can see just fine. I think so. On the top of Zoom, you might be seeing two different tabs. It might be say webinar and then Alex Young's screen. If you can't see his screen, it might be because you're on the other tab. Sometimes it does that, but I can see it just fine, and it looks like others
Okay, yeah, other
too,
comments are
so
showing
should
that
be
they can see
fine.
it.
Yeah, should be fine.
Alrighty,
Yeah. Thank you for checking.
cool, wonderful. So let's click create campaign. And then there are several different campaign types. We've got regular campaign. This is going to be your regular one-off email. A/B split campaign. This is a little bit more advanced, but if you want to figure out what type of, say, like email subject line or what type of design is going to work better with your audience, you'd use an A/B split campaign. RSS campaign is what you'd use if you want to automatically send new content, either from your website or blog. Auto resend campaign is going to give your subscribers a second chance to open your newsletter. And this is a pretty nifty template. If you want to just try and maximize the number of opens, like your open rate for your campaigns. And then multivariate campaign is similar to A/B split, except you can test multiple variables beyond just A/B. For now, we are going to stick with the regular campaign option. Alrighty, next you'll be brought over to your campaign details. These are the details for your campaign, mostly to help you organize them on your own end. Things like the campaign name. So this is going to be called our demo campaign. This is for you. This is not what your audience is going to be seeing. That is the subject line. So you can see over here as we work on subject line, sender name, pre-header, that's all going to appear over here on this preview on the right. And this is going to be how your email or campaign will appear to your subscribers. We give it a campaign title. And you can see that that changes right in here. Sender name as well can be edited if you want to change your sender name. And then you can see again how that changes. And then pre-header is the line that's going to be right underneath your subject line. And generally what you'd want to put there is a preview of what's going to be inside the email. Your subject line is going to be the most important part to getting your email opened. The pre-header is going to be next most important because um, giving them an idea of what's inside will help them decide, make that snap decision on whether or not they need to open this email and see what's inside. Once you've defined your details, then you'll want to go ahead and select your recipients. I'm going to go ahead and just do our demo group here. And then we will move over to content afterwards. Alrighty, so right now you have a couple of different ways to get into design. We've got our templates and our many different template categories to help you pick from a pre-made design that you can just work with right away. You can also select from recent emails if you want to reuse a design that you have used. If you've created templates as well, we've got a My Templates category, so you can create and save templates with MailerLite, so that keeps it easy to have a consistent design theme if you've created one that you want to use over and over again. For now, we're going to hit Start from Scratch, and that'll bring you over to our editor options. We've got the drag and drop editor. This is probably the most common way to create emails since it's a very easy, like no code solution to just create and design emails with um, incredible options for customization. We've also got our rich text editor. So this is going to be a pretty bare bones, very simple, but also robust way to edit emails, text-based emails. And then custom HTML, this is going to be the most advanced option, but you're able to write or import HTML to build out custom emails. For now, again, we're going to go through the drag and drop editor. Alrighty, and now that we're in the editor, you can see that we've got a very basic template, if you can call it that. This is the basic email layout. So you've got your like header, and then you have like a little bit of a hero section here with a image placeholder as well as title. Um, and this is essentially what you would use to customize your email. So say you want to replace this image, you can simply hover over, and then there's an image icon. You can see this toolbar that pops up when you are hovering over different items. If you click on this replace image button, we've got one up here for the logo. That'll take you over to your file manager, and then you can simply input a logo from your file manager. You can also, if it comes out pretty small, you can click and drag it to change the size. We've also got a way to add personalizations to your emails. So say you want to include a detail about your customer, but you don't want to type in, obviously, just type in a name like this. What you want to do is inside of the text editor, you have this option for text formatting tools. To add a personalization like someone's name, what you would do is hover over to variable, and then you can insert a number of details. So email, name, last name, company. What you're going to do here is just input name, and then let's say There we go. And so that's how you can insert a personalization into your email that's going to have their name. So these details are imported into your subscriber list, like Harmony was going over earlier. When you're collecting details for your subscribers, this is where that you can begin to use that in your content going forward. Let's see here. If you want to customize this header image, again, click on the replace image button. And then from your file manager, we'll just like select a sample image. And if you want to type into your email, like change your text, it's really as simple as just like clicking, dragging, deleting, the same way you would in any sort of text editor on your own computer. To drag in new blocks or new elements to your email. We've got this sidebar over here where you can like see different options for what to put into your email. So if you want to put an image into your email somewhere else, you can simply go into sections and then drag it in, or you can go to elements, drag in, say, an image or even a video block. Just drag that into your design, and then just like that, you have another image placeholder that you can customize and edit however you'd like. When you click into a button or something like that, if you want to customize it, you've got different button styles. Depending on this is going to be pulling from what you've set in your account settings, which you can also go through and change it right down here. So if you want to change your primary button style, you click into that. You can change the color into whichever option you'd like to have it set to. And you can change your secondary style as well. And so if you set it, then you can change what your button styling is going to look like. And you can do the same thing for pretty much every other element in here. So if you want to change the way that your headings appear, you can change like the font, change the color, change the size, and all of those details. Initially, these are going to pull from your account settings. So if you've set your account settings prior, like your brand settings in your account settings area, then that's what this is going to pull from, and then you can further customize that here in the editor itself. One other thing that I would like to mention, let's go ahead and drag in a text block real quick. Let's put that right over here. MailerLite has a built-in AI assistant to help with I guess filling out your email, helping you move from that blank slate to having content. To access that, you click into your text block or where you'd like to use it, and then hover over this sparkle. This is going to be your AI assistant. When you click into that, then you'll get AI suggestions. And then essentially this is where you're going to be prompting the AI. So say what tone you'd like it to have, if this is going to be a title, a short paragraph, long paragraph, or a call to action. And then you simply type your prompt. We've also got different languages that you can generate text in. We are going to stick with English for now. And then once you hit send, you're going to be getting some AI suggestions as well. If you like what you see, simply hit insert. And then you can further customize that text right from here. Alrighty, let's see here. And then again, we are not going to fully customize this, but just wanted to show you the various tools that you have access to when it comes to customizing an email. And then if you don't want to start from a blank slate, you can begin with one of our templates. Keep in mind that templates are a paid feature that you will have access to them in your free trial. And then once you're finished with your design, simply hit done editing. And that'll take you over to your review and schedule page. So this is where you can go back and edit any details that you had touched on previously. So subject line, sender name, your language, recipients, as well as get a preview of your email design. And with your sending options, that'll be under schedule your campaign. You've got the option to send it right now. That'll immediately send it once you hit schedule. Or it'll change that button over to send. Send later is going to let you schedule your campaign to send out at a specific time based on time zones. This is going to allow you to schedule your campaign for a specific time zone, or a specific time for all time zones. So say you want the email to land in your subscribers' inbox at 9 a.m., but you have subscribers all over the world. This will make sure that no matter where they are, they get it at 9 a.m. their time. And Smart Sending will let you deliver your campaign to your subscribers when they're most likely to engage. So it'll use your sending, like open your data in the from like historic email sending, and then use that to send it at a time that like your subscribers in particular are most likely to engage with your content. And that is essentially how you go in and create your email campaigns. Next, we want to go into a very brief but simple automation builder overview. So this is going to give you an introduction into how you can use automations within MailerLite. So to do that, let's go ahead and exit out of here because we are not going to send that demo campaign. Now, for automations, same as with campaigns, there are a couple of ways to get to this section. You can either go here from automation, tab it from the automation tab in the left sidebar, or if you hover over create, again, you have create campaign, form, site, and automation. So that create button will give you access to create whatever you'd like to create on our platform. Once you're in the automation section, you can either start from scratch, which we will do here in just a moment, but we've also got a lot of templates that really make it easy to get started with automations. So we've got like a simple welcome email. You can see like this is like a welcome series. We've got a series of promotional emails, events, special dates, just a lot of options that can help you like get started to interact with your audience and like have a high level of really personalized engagement with them. But just to give you a quick overview, let's click start from scratch. I'm gonna give this a name. And then hit start building. So here is the automation builder. The first thing that you're going to need to do is set up your trigger. So right here, this is going to be the trigger is what is going to start the automation. What action taken by your subscriber is going to start this automation. What we're going to do here is click when a subscriber joins a group. The reason for that being that when a subscriber submits a form, they're often added to a group, and then that would trigger this automation to go out. Let's go with a demo group, and then we'll hit save. All right, the first thing that we want to do is hit this plus button. And so immediately once they join that group, we're going to have an email go out. And then these details that appear here once you click on that email is very similar to your campaign details. So email name, this is going to be like your campaign name. Your audience is not going to see this. So let's say automation email 1. The email subject is what they're going to see. So let's go ahead and fill in a subject line. And maybe we can add a personalization into that title as well. So if we click on this drop down, you can insert something like name, so welcome, and then it'll have their name right over there. As well, you can customize who it's from, and then let's go into content. So once you hit design email, that is going to take us back over to our familiar page with the drag and drop editor. Here again, you can either start from scratch or you can select a template. Um, for this automation builder, we're just going to go ahead and select a template from here. And then we're not going to edit that template. We're just going to insert it right away. But we do have video guides and knowledge base articles on how to really go in depth with our drag and drop editor. So if you want some more detail on how to get specific with different features, definitely want to check those out. Alrighty, and then you can see that email has populated right over here. And then let's hit save. Alrighty, and then the next step we want to do is to add a delay step. And we're going to do this because if you don't have a delay step, then every item in your automation will happen at the same time, and that can be a little bit overwhelming, to put it lightly, for your audience. So what we would do is like have that initial email go out, and then we're going to put a delay of say like 2 days or something like that. Let's hit save. All right, then after 2 days, maybe you want to have another email go out. And that'll just be like a follow-up email. So something that you want to follow up the first email with. So this is going to be automation email 2, subject line. And then we're going to design that email. And then again, you have all of these emails that you can select from template gallery, start from scratch, recent emails. You can use any of these as a base um, to send your email to choose from for your campaign within your automation. It's really the same as if you're creating any normal campaign. It's like really the same kind of format. Alrighty, and then again, we're not going to be customizing this right now. Let's hit done editing. And then hit save. And there you go. We have a lot of tools to customize these automations. And we also have an entire course in our MailerLite Academy around mastering automations with MailerLite. And so if you would like to take a really deep dive into every nook and cranny of our automation builder, you'll definitely want to check that one out. Go ahead and save and close. Oh yeah, when you're done, by the way, you will want to turn your automation on using this tab here. Um, if we save it and close it, you can go into the overview. And then if it's not active, you can activate it. You can edit your workflow. You can see activity. So like who's doing what in the workflow. You can go and look at the history and see like if there's any activity history or anything going on, then you can see that in here, any changes and things like that. But yeah, that is a very high level of how to create a welcome automation within MailerLite. There's a lot more that you can do with this to really make your workflow a lot easier within MailerLite. But for now, we're going to go ahead and stop it over here, and then I'll hand it back over to Harmony.
Great. Thank you, Alex. We had a lot of questions during that, but I think that was really, really helpful. So let me just go back. We are at the end of our session pretty much here. Just go over some last few things. Next steps, this isn't homework. We recommend, if you're getting started, if you haven't done any of this yet, if you have not felt confident, hopefully this webinar helped. We recommend to create your first campaign, set up a basic automation, even if you're just seeing how it works, or try to create and install a sign-up form. Those are all things you can do with the information that we've given. These are all things that you can do like on a basic level without getting too deep into settings. I will also share some resources into the chat so you can, if you have more things that you would like to explore, anything that you want to know more about in depth, we have lots of different resources here. So the first one is our knowledge base, which if you check the webinar chat, I'm adding that link in there now. All this is on our website, but I'm just to make it simple. We also, oops, one moment here. Um, just a second. There we go. Okay, we also have video tutorials if you want to learn by watching tutorials. We have an entire library of those. Our academy as well. This is if you want to get very in-depth into things like automations. We also have a beginner's course as well, so highly recommend to check out our academy. You can even get a certificate after. Our support team is available. Depending on your plan level, you might have access to the chat the support chat or email, but that is the support contact us. And then we also have the community. So this is kind of like a Facebook group. It's not a Facebook group, but it's a community of people using MailerLite, and that is a good resource for knowledge sharing, or if you have specific questions that maybe someone else has experienced the problem, then that's a good place as well. Okay, and that is basically it for our session. I see we're just about a minute over, so we are done here. I'll look over the Q&A to see if there's anything we missed, but otherwise that is basically it. I just want to say thank you everyone for joining us. But I am done sharing information. We're done sharing resources, so I'll just have a quick look to see if there is anything. Someone's asking how to access the community. So I did send the link in the webinar chat. It is the very last link in there. But we will be sending out an email after this webinar with the recording as well as all of these resources. So that link will also be in there too. You might have to sign up to use Circle. That's the platform. But you should be able to access the community. It's completely free. So I recommend at least having a look at that. Okay, asking about recordings. Okay, it looks like that is it. One person is asking about the support levels. Yes, with different plans, you do get different support levels. So free plans and growing business plans, you mainly just have access to the support email for certain things like login issues, stuff like that. But for the most part, we have a lot of resources to help with free accounts. But yes, with the advanced plan and also on the free trial, you have access to the live chat, and that's 24/7 live chat support. The ones helping us in the panelists today, as panelists today, are usually over in the support areas helping out, so they're great. So yes, you do get access to that on higher plans. Okay, I do see someone asks about Bluehost. We have guides on all of the hosting providers, well, nearly all of the hosting providers, all of the most popular ones, including Bluehost. So if you go to our knowledge base, which the link is in the chat, will also be in the email. Just go to the knowledge base, type in any of the providers you want to know about, Bluehost, GoDaddy, any of those hosting providers. This is for like authentication for domains. And we have guides on how to connect Bluehost, Cloudflare, all of those. Authentication as well. All of those guides on the knowledge base. I highly recommend having a look at the knowledge base and video tutorial area for everything. Should all be there. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and end the session here. Once again, questions and all of that, I recommend to look at the knowledge base. Email will be sent out with the recording. And thank you again for joining. We will see you in the next sessions. Hopefully everyone have a good day. Bye.